Today will be a pretty strict, pretty tight 30-minute show just because I have so much going on. As usual, I seem to have company, um, and that happens a lot when you live at the beach, which is one of the cool things about living here. But I have opened the K-23 module for the K-23 American Civil War Kriegsspiel system. I'm just using this as kind of a place to provide examples for everything. So it's not, I'm not really pushing K-23 or anything like that or talking about K-23. I'm just going to talk about some Kriegsspiel practices in general, some things that people tend to do that some of these things I have even done, but in retrospect, after playing a lot of Kriegsspiel and learning Kriegsspiel and learning from people who know better than me, there are some things that I've learned that maybe we should not do, even though players tend to do them a lot. So we're going to talk about that today. Real quick, I am going to check the YouTube here because I want to make sure that we're working on the YouTube and it looks good. And it looks like we're all good there. And I don't want to miss anyone because the YouTube is where you'll see the screen. I think I can share my screen on here as well. So I'll share screen there so anybody who wants to see the screen should be able to see it in here. But again, the show is on YouTube. All good here, says Achilles. Good to see you, Achilles. And then, of course, my other screen, my Discord blanked out. Oh boy, I hope I didn't lose the Discord. What the heck happened there? All right, speak on stage. Sorry about that, my Discord crashed. Very weird. Go live, and it looks like we're good there, and now we just double check the YouTube again. This is crazy, man. All right. Okay, it looks good to me, so let's go ahead and start. We'll dock that there so we can keep. You mean you can't hear me? All right. Sorry, Achilles. You meant well. You told me that I was muted, and I believed you. And that's just because I was booted offline. Now I'm back. Oh my goodness. Welcome to the Comedy of Errors Kriegsspiel edition. All right, let's talk about some things that players tend to do. And anybody who wants to speak, I'll invite everybody that I see in if you want to pop up here, if you have any questions or comments or any of the things that you want to talk about. All right. So let's just talk about one of the things that I see players doing often. You get a player who will come in and they will have their unit, and I'm just going to pull some units over just for the heck of it, and they are marching into their objective, and they will do this thing where they will leave their unit. And I think leaving your unit is a great idea if you don't want to command them, because sometimes the soldiers are complaining. They could be annoying. Maybe you're more of a free-spirited type and you like kind of being alone. You like your alone time. You need a break from the rigors of military command. This is an excellent way to get it. What you do is you just kind of ride off and you just go wherever you want. And the way that you justify this to your superiors is, well, you're looking at the ground, you're looking for the enemy, you're scouting. Scouting is often the reason, because as a general, you really can't trust scouting to a detachment. You can't trust it to a lieutenant or a junior officer or anything like that, or even a couple of privates. You can't do that. You need to do that yourself, because all great generals go out and scout entirely alone by themselves. Perhaps the greatest example of this was Jackson at Chancellorsville. where he quite justifiably went out to kind of survey the lines and plan things, and it ended very well for the Union. So again, if you want to follow best practices, one of my recommendations is that you just leave your unit and get like some chai tea, a chai tea latte or something, double shot of chai or latte-ness or whatever, and just take it up here onto a place like Cemetery Hill and just kick back, because, commanding troops is hard. It's a pain, really. You don't need to hear and put up with all that crap. That's why you have subordinates, and that's why you combat the units. And so absolutely leave your command often during battle or when you're on the march to contact, and just enjoy that peace and tranquility that Kriegsspiel provides. Now, is there a justifiable reason to do this? I mentioned, of course, Jackson did this, and I did say it was justifiable, and absolutely. It was nighttime. He didn't need to command troops actively in the field. He was surveying the enemy positions because, of course, he wants to plan an attack. So he is doing that so that he can firsthand kind of see things for himself. That makes some sense. But when you're playing Kriegsspiel, it's probably not a good idea, because a lot of times we play during the daytime, not at nighttime. And you should have cavalry or other units or other detachments that you can send out to scout, to do these things for you. Yes, you have to scout. Yes, you need to see what is out there, what is in front of you, what terrain do you want, and so on. But you, as the officer in command of a formation, you need to be with your formation so that you can command it. I have seen Kriegsspiel umpires take this dude over here and allow that dude to command these troops in real time. Absolutely unacceptable. As an umpire, if you see this, you need to punish that. You need to say, well, you're by yourself, so I guess you can shout really loud. Maybe you have your staff with you. You could send a courier back, but that's going to take, 15, 20 minutes to make that ride. And then, we'll see what happens then. But don't allow players to do this. Discourage this. There are some justifiable reasons. There's a time and a place to do this sort of thing. I don't think it's unreasonable to ride, a little bit ahead and kind of look and see for yourself. After all, you do have to position the unit and so on. But doing this kind of stuff out here, nah, don't do that. That's ridiculous, okay? All right, speaking of commander avatars and things that players like to do that maybe they shouldn't be doing. I'll grab another bunch of units here and just line them up. So let's say that, we have this battle going on, and there's it's Kriegsspiel, right? Of course there's a battle going on. And here's one commander here. And we'll do a, we'll make this double line because I just picked up a ton of units. And then we'll get a couple more commanders here. That's 3. That's not a couple, but we'll just grab some more and put that over there, and this dude's out. All right, so here are our commanders, right? And here's the battle going, and let's just get some baddies out there. Baddies. My ancestors are the baddies. But we're just going to put them out there. Boom, there's the baddies, right? And what will happen is these dudes will get together back here for a tea party. Now, this is really cool because it's very important to have fellowship and camaraderie with your fellow commanders. It really is important that you get along, that you enjoy good coffee, good tea, cigars, brandy, because this is really what the military life is all about for officers. This is what officers actually do. They don't tell you this because you're probably enlisted and so you never know about this. This is one of the big secrets of the military. But officers actually just stand around in parlors, drinking tea, eating scones, smoking cigars, brandy in the afternoons or evenings, coffee first thing in the morning, tea's kind of afternoon, midday, sort of a thing that they do. And they just talk about officer things, like that, you know. Um, and it's very important to do that. And the best time to do this is during the battle because back here you can't get shot. And it's the battle in the distance makes kind of like it really contributes to the ambiance. You have this low rumble, it's like a distant thunder. You know, it's very relaxing while you sip your tea and talk about officer things. Yes. Uh, Guys do this all the time, and I see this constantly. And again, it's similar to the previous problem that I talked about. You cannot command your troops if you're having a tea party back here at P. Rogers Farm. You have to be with your unit because this is where you're going to get your orders. The commander in chief, unless the commander in chief is participating in the tea party, which is often the case, uh, is going to be sending orders to your position. And they should have some sense of where your position is. And if you want to communicate with your commander, you send a dispatch back. You don't just go, oh, I'm going to go talk to him because I'm bored. And that's one of the real reasons why I think a lot of players will do this in Kriegsspiel. They do it because they're bored, and they shouldn't be doing this because um, they can't command their units in real time. And again, I would tell umpires once again, if you see this kind of behavior, you need to punish it. Do not allow these guys to give real time orders to these troops at all. I don't care if they're only, 400, 500 paces distant. If they are in a circle, if they're having, well, who has the talking stick now? If they're singing Kumbaya back here, delay their orders so that they get out of this habit of doing this because there's a consequence to not looking and paying attention and being in proximity to your unit. The only thing worse than this in the military, in my opinion, is to have your hands in your pockets because, as my friend Achilles points out, having your hands in your pockets instantly reduces your lethality as a soldier. And I think having, a teacup in your hand instantly reduces your ability to command effectively as an officer, especially if you are hanging out behind the lines. So that's one of the things there. Okay. Achilles says that in the officer's executive washroom key you get when you get your commission. That's right. Yes, you do. You get to use the executive washrooms. That's pretty important. So there you go. Okay, let's talk about some other things. I invited, it says AI. I don't know who AI is. Who is AI?
I don't know how did I get here, sorry.
Oh, well, you raised your hand, so I brought you up. I thought maybe you had a question or
Yeah,
something to say. Go ahead.
so I did my first umpire today and it went kinda horribly wrong a bit. So uh my players decided to burn a forest which block off their entrance towards the city they are attacking at.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it turned no better pretty much. So can I just like do something about, like kind of not allowing them to start the fire maybe? Oh no.
Yeah, as an umpire, this is why Kriegsspiel is umpired, and there's a lot of people who want to, turn it into a computer game, and there's a lot of obsession with rules. I mean, look, I wrote a whole rule book over here. I wrote two of them now.
Oh
But
wow, nice.
the reason why you have an umpire, though, is because the rules don't always apply. And sometimes, even when a rule does apply, as an umpire, you will make an exception or a change so that the game is a little unpredictable for the players. So an umpire is critical, very important in Kriegspiel. And I think that even if the players are allowed to do something in the rules, if as an umpire you think they should not be able to do it because they are manipulating the rules or they're doing something that is foolish, unwise, then shame,
Yeah.
yeah, just prevent them from doing it. Just say you can't do it. Um, you know, and if you can, one of the best ways to do it is to make up an excuse in the game why they can't do it. Or you can just
That's
tell
good.
them no, Um, and you can also punish it. I've seen players get punished where a commander or an umpire will say, "You've been shot. Your horse has been shot. You don't have a horse anymore."
Uh,
You know, things
I
like
did
that.
punish them a bit. I
Yeah.
did punish them. I said to them, all right, then that road is now blocked by the smoke. So now you'd have to march to the forest, which will slow you down.
Hmm. Hmm.
And yeah, they
That's
just retreated after that.
Yeah, yeah, that's how you get them to think differently. And then very important though, in the post-battle critique, you have to tell them that they were making a mistake by doing that so that they learn
Yeah,
because otherwise they don't know. They think that's just part of the game and it's cute and oh, okay. Uh, no, in the critique you're going to have to tell them, you did this, this was a wrong decision and what you should have done was this and that way
yeah,
they
I
learn
did
from
say
it.
that.
So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, thank you.
Of
All right,
course.
one more question though.
Sure.
How do you use the dice thing, the dice of the Kriegsspiel thing
Oh,
to kind of like yeah, okay.
yeah, it depends on the system, but that's a different topic. So, and it's
Oh,
different per
okay,
system. So, I want to stay on my topic today because my time is only
okay.
13 more minutes. But yeah, each rule system should have a guide that tells you how to use the dice, and also you can ask the other players and umpires, and they will teach you. So. I'd be happy to go over it with you, but today I don't have time and I want to stay on
Yeah,
topic.
it's fine.
All
I
right.
understand that. Yeah, that's only all that I question. It. Have a good day, I suppose, and keep doing your good work.
Thank you, and you as well. Congratulations on umpiring. All right, let's talk about some other things. One of the other things that I see players do is they will disappear. They will take their command and do something clever. In particular, let's say this was a cavalry command. They will do this thing where they think they're Jeb Stuart and they want to ride all the way around the edge of the map to get into the enemy rear. Now, that's cute, but they are not always thinking about the purpose of, or their role, I should say, in the army. Cavalry typically serves a couple of very critical functions. One is they scout. Number two, they protect the flanks. Number three, they're kind of a quick reaction force. So they can go out and secure terrain and kind of hold it like they did on the first day of Gettysburg. They can respond to something, they can counterattack or break through. Cavalry is really, really important because, while they're not necessarily as powerful in terms of damage output as a regular infantry force or an artillery battery, they sure are useful. They really are useful. And of course, they are very capable as scouts and so on. What I think you should do, though, is whenever you are deployed in the front as cavalry to scout or anything like that, if you see the enemy, it's very important that you not be observed. So you need to fall back and retreat and get to a position where you cannot see them. Because if you can't see the enemy, then the enemy can't see you, and that means you're safe, which of course is the purpose of war. I mean, you want to be safe at all times in war. You don't want to take any risks if you don't have to, right? The other thing you should do is you should ride around the edge of the map to the enemy rear and try to burn all of their wagons or do other things that will confuse them, because once you burn the enemy wagons in the rear, they are much more likely to simply surrender and give up and say, oh, wow, good game. Regardless, like they could totally be steamrolling your force in the front, but if you have gotten around behind them, it's like they automatically lose. I think that's a rule somewhere. I don't know where. Um, Certainly not a rule in actual war, but we can pretend, right? And of course, the biggest thing is you get your name in the papers, because that's really why you do wars, is to get your name in the papers. So there you go. I mean, you do wars, do crimes, you get your name in the papers. It's all good, right? There's no such thing as bad press. So that's what you do. No, that's all ridiculous. That silly stuff that I see people do. They think it's cute to burn wagons. And yeah, if you come across an enemy ammunition depot or a supply train or whatever, yeah, sure. Destroy it, capture it, do whatever you're going to do. But that's not really your purpose. You have to think about what is the purpose of you inside of a formation, and what is the formation's job? Well, what are you doing? Are you trying to cut the enemy off from reinforcement? Then yeah, you need to go around and see if you can get behind them or something. Are you trying to destroy this army? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to outflank them? What are you doing? And you want to act in accord with the situation. So, whatever your purpose is in the army, whatever the army is tasked with doing, you want to make sure that you are always acting with that in mind. Keep the mission in mind. Don't go off on your own doing Jeb Stuart. That's why Jeb Stuart got in trouble. That's one of the reasons why Lee got himself in trouble, because Jeb Stuart did not have the mission of the army in mind. He was out getting his name in the papers, kind of a thing. So you want to keep that in mind. Other things that I see, and these are pretty big, is a failure to communicate. Whether it is a commander who is not informing subordinates of the change in mission or whatever in a timely fashion, or hey, be ready, this is what's on my mind, we might be doing this, or not telling the subordinates what your intent may be. I like to communicate intent. And the reason I like to communicate intent, and maybe I don't know if this is a good idea or not militarily, but in Kriegsspiel I like to communicate intent because I want the commander to know what I'm trying to accomplish. Because I may give an order out of some degree of ignorance. Because if I'm the commander and I'm back here behind the line, where's my little avatar? And I'm back here, okay? I don't see what's happening right here on the front. I might not know that this unit is there. And my intent might be, capture this high ground over here. But I communicate that. But the way in which I want that to be taken, I'm going to leave that up to the guys in the field who actually are the experts and who see this going on, because that's their job to navigate the individual obstacles and deal with what's in their front to achieve the intent or the commander's intent or the objective. And how they're going to do that, I'm going to leave to them to some degree. I'm going to give them as much latitude as reasonable to accomplish that mission. I'm not going to sit there and micromanage them. And that's important that I communicate that. On the other side of this, it's important for commanders to send back dispatches to their superiors. I do know that there's a school of thought that says that you should not communicate with your superior when you first make contact with the enemy, or when you reach an objective, or when something unexpected or new transpires or develops, or when you have a problem and you need help, or you are doing something that is an exception to the plan, such as you are falling back, retreating, or you're stopped. You don't want to tell the commander these things because they kind of up there in the realm of personal problems, so personal problem is here, what's happened to you is here, and what the commander's concerned with is right about there. But see, it's below it. So it's down here with personal problems. It's below it. So don't communicate to the commander any of those things, and assume that the commander will just kind of figure it out. Like, he'll read about it in the papers. And it gives the commander something interesting to read about the day or two after, when they're writing the after action report about why they lost the battle. So yeah, it makes great conversation between you and the commander later as well after the battle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Settle. Settle.
Achilles, I hear the puppies. So
Yes.
Achilles is here and the
They,
puppies are
they
here.
want to say hi. They wanted to say hi.
Oh. So
Uh,
yeah, absolutely.
oh,
You have to
oh,
communicate
what
back
did you
and forth.
what did you just do? Just
That's
turned us off.
That's my weakness. Um, yeah,
Oh,
you have to communicate back and forth because if you're not communicating, then your commander doesn't know what's going on. They don't know to send reinforcements. They don't know to change the plan. They don't know how to adapt or anything. So that's very, very important. You communicate with your commander and send dispatches. Now, there's one thing you don't want to do because you will also get people who over communicate. They will send a dispatch every single turn because they're bored or there's nothing happening or there's no change, but they'll just send a dispatch because they're anxious. So they're always sending dispatches, or they will send a circular out to everybody. Hey, I arrived at my position, no contact with the enemy, send it to all commanders. Really? No. Communication goes up. Send it to your commander. I don't have a big issue with communicating with your peers to your right and left, especially if you see something. But otherwise, you should not be, communicating with everybody in the formation. You don't need to do that. And the only other thing I'm going to get into here with my last few minutes is the people who don't play their role. You will get a commander in chief who will ride up to the front and they will begin to command these subordinate units like as if they are the brigade commander. And I think that's important to let them do that because the commander in chief misses being a brigade commander and it's just fun for them. So I think as the brigade commander you just kind of need to step back and let them micromanage and tell everybody what to do and who to shoot at and when to reload and what to do next. And sir, I have to go to the bathroom. Okay, you can go. Here's your hall pass. Because, when you're a commander in chief, there's nothing more fun than going out and commanding a platoon, on skirmish detail. So, no, absolutely not. Look, if you're a brigade commander, be a brigade commander. If you're a division commander, be a division commander. If you're a corps commander, be a corps commander. If you want to be a brigade commander, be a brigade commander, but don't be a division or corps commander in that case. You absolutely need to fulfill your role. If you do not have the role, do not go to the front and take over someone's brigade. You could ride to the front and say to that commander, I want us to do this, but let that commander play their game and sort out the problem for themselves because that's their job. If you are up here as a commander on the front and you are working with this person, understand that what you have done is you've taken your 180-degree vision or even 360-degree vision and you have shrunk it down to 10 or 15 degrees. You're now just looking through a tunnel at your front and you are just here. And that means all these other units, all of this other action outside your field of view, it's still happening, but you're not aware of it. You're not paying attention because you've decided to focus in. Now, there is a time and a place to do that. If this is the Schwerpunkt, if this is the moment of decision, and you're committing the reserve or the guard or the heavy cavalry or whatever you're doing, I get that. It makes sense to be there at that point because this is where the battle will be decided. But if it's not that kind of a situation where you are resisting the enemy's big push or you are making a big push or there is some critical need for you to be up there at the front, don't do it. Why are you doing it? Because you're bored, because you think it's fun, you think it's cute, but you have to understand you're taking a gamble by doing that. And it's just not best practices. So that's those are some of the pet peeves that I have, and I hope that provides some lessons and some food for thought for other commanders. That being said, I'm at the end of my time. I do have to go, but I will say I want to see the dogs.
Yes.
And
here they are.
Here we are. Let's see
Here we
Puppies.
are.
Puppies.
Okay, come here, sweetheart.
If his camera works, his camera's not working, but
Oh, my camera's on.
yeah, it's kind of rotating. It's not on. Maybe maybe it's a resources thing. Maybe if I stop sharing my stream.
Yeah, probably.
Oh.
Let's see the dogs.
Can you see me?
No, sad.
No.
No, it's an Achilles
Sadly.
problem.
Oh. What? You don't see me?
Nope.
Nope, sadly.
Okay, let me try it again. Turn off camera. Turn on. Oh, share
There.
my screen.
Nah, we
Now
we
I
Oh,
can
now
see
see
you
it.
already see it. Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh my
Ah,
goodness.
here we
Nice
go.
dogs.
Here we go.
You're getting puppy loves. Oh my gosh. 2
Okay.
dogs.
Oh, that's
This
cute.
one is Hera. This one is Freya. And they wanted to say hi to Marshall.
Oh, hi
Hello.
puppies. Oh my gosh. I can't wait to see them in person.
That's going to be great.
That's going to be crazy. It's going to
They're
be
growing
crazy.
fast.
Oh yeah. Have they chewed up any prized possessions yet?
Not yet.
Nice.
Not yet. If they get into mommy's shoe closet room, that could be the end.
Mhm.
Oh no.
All right, you
Yep.
two.
There
Down
you
you
go.
go.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah.
Jan says, tell that to all Napoleonic marshals. And yeah, but remember, a marshal is not necessarily commanding the whole army. They may be commanding a
Yeah.
corps. But Napoleon himself is back there with that 360-degree view, so the marshal can do that. And again, it's all about that point of decision, right? There is a time and a place to ride to the front and be there at the front, but it is a lot more uncommon than I think most Kriegspielers make it out to be. And it's the same thing, like, you talk about Gettysburg and you talk about Waterloo, about how this is what warfare was like. And if you look at Waterloo and Gettysburg and think that was the Napoleonic Wars, that was a Civil War, you actually have a misconception, because things like Waterloo and Gettysburg are famous because they were rare, they were uncommon. Yes, you had, Antietam, you had Gettysburg, you had a bunch of big battles, but you could go a couple months between big battles. But the everyday conflict were these low-level skirmishes that were nothing like Waterloo or Gettysburg, and that was actually far more common for the period than these big battles that get all the attention in the books and all the attention in the movies. So you don't have 19,000 casualties every day in the Civil War. You might have several hundred, but you don't get thousands and thousands every day. It's not like that. So we just have to understand that Hollywood and even the books we read, even the great history books we read, sometimes give us a misunderstanding or a misperception of what the everyday was like, because they're looking at this big grand event. And, of course, these are the big, sexy, beautiful, attractive, amazing, interesting battles. I get it. But again, the mundane is not like that, but the mundane is the everyday. So.
Well, I'll leave you with this. You should watch Paul's video on leader recon.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually quite interesting, and it fits right in with the topic you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I think you'll find it interesting.
Am I wrong as usual, or what?
You're a little wrong, a little right.
A little right.
Yeah. You're kind of in between. So there you go.
Well, there we go. All right. Where can we find that?
Look on his channel. It's under his umpire's name, I believe. La Fondoise, or however you say it.
La Fondios, and that's his
Yeah,
YouTube,
Fondios.
right? That's his YouTube.
I think that's his YouTube. Yeah.
Okay,
I think that's the
I
name.
want that out there so that people who are watching the video can be referred to that channel. Let me see if I can. I should be subscribed to it, and I'm probably not. I didn't know.
He does some really, really excellent AARs and excellent videos. He's been doing von Moltke's Kriegsspiel problems.
What this channel is about.
And is really, really good stuff. He's doing some really good stuff. So it's worth it.
I'm going to share my screen real quick here. Well, actually, it's shared on the YouTube, I think. Should be shared on the YouTube. Is it shared on the YouTube? And there it is. So everybody on the YouTube, this is what you want to look for. Type in Kriegsspiel Umpire La Fondios, and then hit this subscribe button. And then you can check out his channel and learn from La Fondios. All right.
Yeah, he does some excellent stuff. A lot of it, it's reminds me. It's reminding me of things that I'd long forgotten. So it's good stuff.
Very good, very good. Okay, all right. I'll be looking through this as my time allows today. All right, guys, I gotta go, but I want to thank you all for being here. Thank you, Achilles.
Sure.
Thank you, AI. It's good to have you guys all here, and
Yeah.
we will see you on our next adventure. Goodbye for now.
Yeah. Have a good day.
You
Bye.
too. Bye bye.